I want you to just picture this scenario for a second. It's, I don't know, 2:00 p.m. on a Tuesday. You're sitting in that weekly status meeting.
Mm-hmm. The one everyone dreads.
Right. And the project is, let's be honest, probably on fire. The budget's blown, the timeline is a total fantasy, and the vibe in that room is just heavy.
I can feel the tension just hearing you describe it.
Yeah, right. But then the manager looks around the table and they ask, so are we all good on the milestones? And what happens?
Oh, I know this one. Heads nod.
Heads nod, thumbs go up, someone forces a smile and says, yep, we're on track.
Total compliance. It's completely artificial.
Exactly. And the meeting ends, everyone walks out, and then, 5 seconds later, the real meeting starts.
In the parking lot.
Or on the private Slack channel or at the coffee machine. That is where the truth actually comes out.
Yep. There's no way we're going to hit that date. Did you see the flaw in that data?
Why didn't anyone say anything? It's this classic corporate disconnect. And, usually when leadership catches wind of that parking lot talk, they have a standard diagnosis.
Oh, yeah. They say, we have a communication problem.
We need better communication. It's the go-to, the default setting. So today we are doing a deep dive into this really provocative new article from the Phoenix Performance Partners.
Mm-hmm.
It's titled Beyond the Communication Trap, Building Trust Infrastructure. And the reason we pulled this one is because it argues that whole communication problem diagnosis is almost always wrong.
It is a fascinating piece. I mean, it really challenges a massive industry. Organizations spend billions, with the B, on communication training.
Workshops, seminars, you name it.
All to fix a problem that, according to this article, doesn't actually exist. Or, they're trying to fix the wrong problem.
So if it's not a communication problem, what is it?
Well, the central paradox this article highlights is that most organizations think they have a communication problem, but they don't. They actually have a relationship problem that's just disguised as a communication issue.
That's a huge distinction.
It is, and they open with a great quote from George Bernard Shaw that it really sets the stage.
What's that?
The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place.
Oof, that hits hard. The illusion that it has taken place.
Right.
So our mission today is to really unpack this illusion. We're going to look at why all those expensive workshops on, radical candor or active listening usually fail.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to try and uncover what this article calls trust infrastructure. Because apparently without that, all the perfect scripts in the world won't save you.
That's the key right there. So I think we should start with what they call the communication training trap.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've lived this, and I bet you have too.
Yeah.
The team's dysfunctional, people aren't speaking up, so HR brings in a trainer.
Yep, the classic response.
You spend a day, maybe two, learning how to give I statements or how to have those crucial conversations. Everyone leaves feeling pumped, right?
Yeah.
You have your binder, your framework.
You've got the script. You feel like you've been given this new toolkit.
Exactly. And then Monday morning rolls around.
Reality hits.
You're back at your desk, the phone's ringing, emails are piling up. Does anything actually change?
According to the source, no. Almost always nothing changes. And here is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The article argues that the reason nothing changes isn't because people forgot the training.
It's not amnesia.
It's not amnesia. It's because they already knew how to communicate.
Wait, say that again? They already knew how.
Think about it. Most adults know how to speak. They know how to construct a sentence. They know intellectually that they should be honest.
Okay.
If I asked you, do you know how to tell someone you disagree with them? You'd say yes. The problem isn't a lack of skill. It's the system and the culture they are operating in.
So it's not that I can't give you feedback. It's that I'm making a choice not to.
It's a risk assessment. Exactly. The source argues that employees are acting rationally based on the environment they're in.
Okay.
If speaking up gets you punished and maybe not fired, but you get the cold shoulder or you're labeled difficult,
Oh, absolutely.
then you're not going to use that radical candor script you just learned.
No way. Or if disagreeing feels like career suicide. Or if admitting you don't know something makes you look weak.
Precisely. And that's the why behind the failure. You can teach someone the perfect feedback framework, but if the underlying cultural message is don't make waves, no one will use it.
Right.
As the article puts it, communication problems are just symptoms. The disease is a broken trust infrastructure.
That is such a crucial distinction. Symptom versus disease. We keep treating the cough, but the patient has pneumonia.
Exactly. And the article actually breaks down this disease into 4 specific patterns of breakdown. These are like diagnostic tools.
Okay.
And I think we should go through these carefully because I guarantee you're going to recognize your own teams in at least one of these.
I read through these and I was just cringing because I've seen them all. Let's start with pattern 1, the avoidance culture.
This is the one where the silence is just deafening. The behavior here is that people simply don't share bad news. They don't name problems.
So if a deadline is slipping, it's just crickets.
Crickets, until it's absolutely too late to fix it, and the driver here is fear of punishment.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, either explicit or subtle. The insight from the source is that this isn't a skill gap. It is a culture of self-protection. If I tell you the project is failing and I know the messenger usually gets shot, I am going to keep my mouth shut.
The survival instinct. If I stay quiet, maybe I won't get yelled at.
Exactly.
Okay, so pattern 2. This one is tricky because it looks good on the surface. The politeness trap.
This one is so insidious. In a politeness trap, everyone is nice. The meetings are just full of agreement. Great idea. Love that. You're doing great. But nothing moves forward.
This is the nice culture. I've worked in places like this. It feels very pleasant.
It feels pleasant, but it's totally stagnant. It's a harmony-driven culture.
Wow.
They value that surface piece over productive conflict.
Wow.
So the real talk, the disagreement you need to make a good decision, that happens in the parking lot.
I feel like that one is so common in organizations that describe themselves as like a family.
Often, yes. We don't fight here. Well, if you don't fight, you probably aren't fixing hard problems. You're just letting them fester under a layer of artificial smiles.
So true. Okay, pattern 3, the expert syndrome. This one feels like it comes from the top down.
It absolutely does. This is common in more hierarchical places. The behavior is that leaders provide all the answers. The team just waits to be told what to think.
And if someone asks a question,
It's viewed as a challenge to authority, not as curiosity.
I've seen this. The leader feels like they have to know everything. Like if they say, I don't know, they lose all credibility.
It's a control-driven culture. It conflates leadership with having all the answers. And the breakdown here isn't that the team can't communicate ideas, it's that they've learned their role is to be an audience.
Not a contributor.
Exactly. They've developed learned helplessness. Why bother thinking if the boss is just going to rewrite it anyway?
So true. And finally, pattern 4, analysis paralysis.
Ugh. This is the accuracy-driven culture. Decisions just stall because everyone is waiting for more data. Endless follow-up conversations.
Oh, the circle back.
Just circle back. Let's put a pin in that and circle back when we have the Q3 projections.
The phrase that kills all momentum.
Exhaustive documentation. The insight here is that the culture values precision over progress. People are terrified of making a wrong decision, so they just communicate in circles.
Using data as a shield.
Exactly. A shield to avoid committing to a path that might be imperfect.
So we have avoidance, politeness, expert syndrome, and analysis paralysis. What's fascinating is that in none of these cases is the problem people don't know how to talk.
Exactly. In every case, the communication is functioning perfectly according to the rules of the culture. The culture says be safe, so people communicate safely.
The culture says be perfect, so people communicate slowly.
The employees are actually being very smart. They are adapting to the environment to survive.
So if we peel back the onion one more layer here, what's fueling these cultures? The article argues it all comes down to fear.
This is the root cause analysis. And, better communication techniques cannot solve these emotional drivers. You have to look at the specific fears.
Right, because if you don't address the fear, the pattern will just pop right back up no matter how many workshops you run.
It always does.
So let's run through them. For the control cultures, the expert syndrome types, what's the fear?
Fear of failure. Or maybe more specifically, the fear of looking incompetent.
Ah, okay.
When perfection is the standard, people hide problems to look competent. So communication becomes self-protection. I'm not telling you what's really happening. I'm telling you a story that makes me look like I'm in control.
And what about the connection cultures? The politeness trap.
That's fear of rejection. Belonging depends on agreement. If I disagree with you, I might be cast out of the group.
Seen as not a team player.
Yeah, exactly. So I just say what you want to hear. Communication becomes a performance.
That is so exhausting, just performing agreement all day long. It's like acting.
It leads to massive burnout. Then you have fear of conflict, which drives those harmony cultures. Tension is viewed as toxic.
So issues just fester.
They fester. And communication becomes conflict avoidance.
And lastly, the accuracy folks. The ones drowning in spreadsheets.
Fear of being wrong. Certainty is valued more than exploration. So people over-explain, they hedge, they just drown you in data to prove their credibility.
So communication becomes
Intellectual defense.
intellectual defense. I like that term. It's
Yeah.
like they are building a fortress of facts so no one can attack them.
Precisely. And if you think about it, sending someone who is operating out of intellectual defense to a workshop on active listening is just absurd.
It's pointless.
They aren't not listening because they don't know how. They aren't listening because they are busy reinforcing the walls of their fortress. They are in defense mode.
So what does this all mean? I mean, if we accept that the problem is fear and the solution is not another workshop, what is the solution? The article talks about building trust infrastructure.
And this is the shift. The source advises, stop working on communication and start working on the culture. And they outline a 4-step process to build this infrastructure.
Okay, so step 1 seems simple, but I bet it's actually really hard. Name the cultural pattern.
It requires total honesty. You have to stop using these vague terms like communication issues. You have to be specific.
You have to say.
You need to say, we have a culture where we punish people for not knowing the answer, or we value harmony over honesty.
Oof. Saying that out loud in the meeting. Hey guys, just so you know, we value harmony over honesty. That's a bold move.
It is, but the rule is you can't fix what you won't name honestly. Until you acknowledge the pattern, you're just treating symptoms. You have to put the script on the table so everyone can see it.
Look, we're all doing the politeness trap right now.
We're all nodding, but I know we don't agree. It breaks the spell.
Okay, so once we've named it, say we admit we have a fear of being wrong here. Step 2 is to identify the root fear.
Right. You ask the question, what are people actually afraid of? Are they afraid of looking incompetent? Damaging a relationship? Once you know the fear, you know the target.
You stop fighting the silence and start fighting the fear.
Exactly.
Which brings us to step 3, which is where the rubber meets the road. Change the cultural messages.
This is all about leadership behavior. You have to flip the script. The leader has to model the behavior that is currently punished.
Can you give us an example of that?
Sure. Let's say you've identified that your team has a fear of failure, that control culture. The current message is mistakes get you punished.
Right.
You need to change that message. So you stop celebrating only perfect execution. You start celebrating the learning that comes from mistakes.
So a leader actually standing up and saying, hey, I messed this up, and here's what I learned from it.
Exactly that. Or making I don't know yet an acceptable answer. If a leader says, I don't know the answer to that, I need your help, it signals that omniscience isn't required.
It bursts the bubble of the expert syndrome.
It does.
And what if it's a politeness trap? If everyone is afraid of conflict?
Then you have to stop rewarding that false harmony. You have to model productive disagreement. When someone challenges you, instead of getting defensive, you say, that's a great pushback, tell me more.
You make I see it differently a sign of engagement, not disloyalty.
You have to actively praise the people who are brave enough to disagree.
That makes so much sense. You have to actively reward the behavior you want, which is usually the behavior people are most afraid of.
Correct. And that leads to step 4, build new relational infrastructure. This is about moving beyond just good intentions and creating structures where trust is the default.
What does infrastructure look like in this context? Because when I hear infrastructure, I think of bridges and roads.
No, it's not software. We're talking about habits, protocols, and rhythms. Think of it like guardrails on that road.
Okay.
For example, having regular team agreement conversations where you explicitly discuss how you want to work together. Or consistent feedback rhythms, so feedback isn't this scary once-a-year event.
But just a normal Tuesday thing.
Right. If feedback happens every week, it loses its sting. It's just part of the workflow. Or decision-making clarity. A huge amount of anxiety comes from guessing games.
Who decides? Do I have authority?
Clarifying that eliminates the fear of overstepping. This isn't communication training, it's building a safe container for work to happen.
It's like paving the road. If the road is full of potholes, and the potholes are the fears, nobody's going to drive fast no matter how good a driver they are.
That is a perfect analogy.
You have to fix the road.
The trust infrastructure is the road. If the road is broken, the driver doesn't matter.
This makes so much sense. It really explains why you can go to a retreat, do trust falls, feel great, and then lose it all in 24 hours. The infrastructure wasn't there.
The retreat is a sugar rush. Infrastructure is a diet. It's the daily stuff.
So we're coming to the end of our deep dive here, and we always like to leave you with something actionable. And the source actually issues a this week challenge.
And I love this challenge because it's so counterintuitive. It goes against everything corporate instinct tells you to do. The challenge is stop trying to fix communication.
Don't fix it. Just stop. Put down the I statements.
Instead, diagnose. In your next meeting, I want you to just notice what doesn't get said.
Oh, that's good. Listen for the silence.
Exactly. Notice the silence. Notice the nodding heads that don't match the body language. Notice the eyes looking down. Notice what concerns are being avoided. And just try to name the pattern for yourself.
Is it avoidance? Is it politeness? Is everyone waiting for the expert to speak?
Right. And then once you have a diagnosis, take one action to counter the specific fear. Just one.
You don't have to overhaul the culture in a day.
No.
So give us some quick examples. A cheat sheet.
Okay. If you sense a fear of failure, share a mistake you made recently. Just drop it into the conversation. Man, I completely misread that client email yesterday. Show them the sky doesn't fall.
Nice. What if it's that fear of rejection, the harmony thing?
Publicly appreciate a dissenter. If someone says, I'm not sure that will work, or even gives a skeptical look, you stop the meeting and say, thank you for saying that. We need to hear the risks. Tell us more.
You validate the conflict.
You validate it. And if it's feel of being wrong, the analysis paralysis crew.
What do you do?
Admit uncertainty. Say, look, I'm roughly 60% sure about this, but I need your help to get to 80%. Invite them in to solve it with you.
It takes the pressure off of knowing.
It puts the focus on learning. It changes the game from defend your position to let's figure this out together.
It shifts the dynamic from intellectual defense
To collaborative problem solving. And that is how you start laying down the bricks for that trust infrastructure.
It really circles back to the core message here. We chase these communication hacks because they feel tangible. You can measure them. We trained 50 employees. We bought the books.
But it solves the wrong problem. Teams don't need better words. They have plenty of words. They need a culture where the words they already have can be spoken without fear.
Without fear of punishment, rejection, conflict, or looking stupid.
That is the trust infrastructure. And frankly, building that is harder than hiring a trainer for a day. It takes courage. It takes consistency. But it's the only thing that actually works.
So here is the final provocative thought we want to leave you with today. And this is something to really sit with. The conversations your team needs to have, the ones about the budget, the timeline, the strategy flaws, those conversations are already waiting to happen.
They are probably happening right now on WhatsApp.
Exactly. They're sitting right there.
Yeah.
The question is, are you willing to create the culture where having them finally feel safe?
That's the real work of leadership.
Thanks for diving in with us today. This was a big one. Go build some trust infrastructure. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.